it kind of helped them advance. I mean, do you think this was a conspiracy?
Gotta go with Jacob Butter. Gotta go lefty.
No, we're talking about the players. That's tournament champions into the podcast.
There he is, right there.
Oh, he doesn't even know how to watch. Go to youtube.com and search Down Lane Podcast.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Down Lane Podcast. We are streaming live from the lab at Town and Country Lanes. I'm your host, Kyle Haines, and with me is the assistant to the host, the man hiding behind the mic.
It's microphone.
Anthony Scaccia.
Great to be.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you while you're eating.
What?
I know you don't know the rules of broadcasting, but you're not supposed to.
They eat on podcasts nowadays.
No, hey everybody, no.
Well, that's why I left the mic just far away. Does it matter? Whoa, you better not knock that off. We're gonna go virus if you do that.
Oh
It's
my
gonna
goodness!
we're gonna go virus.
Wow.
Welcome back, everybody. This is my episode of Down Lane Podcast. With me is the assistant to the host, Kyle Haines.
All right,
And my
folks.
friend Austin VanBuren.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. Don't forget to, if you're listening via podcast, don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Also, on tonight's episode, we are going to be bidding a farewell to a local legend, Mr. Kenny Hall. We are also going to be talking about the latest gossip on urethane, not really urethane, but just hardness. We're going to chat a little bit about that. We're going to chat a little bit about how we've been bowling and so on and so forth and what not.
This is good chocolate.
It's just Hershey's. It's not that good. Don't forget you can comment to us during the show.
Emerald.
Hey,
always
what's up? Welcome.
in the shop.
I guess we're not getting a sponsorship from Hershey's.
Welcome, Emerald. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget you can comment to us during the show, chat with us, questions, whatever. We will get with you guys. But before all of that, Anthony, how was your week this week?
Hey, everyone. It was a pretty good week, Kyle.
Yeah?
What's today? What, Thursday?
Today's Thursday, just like it is every week.
God, I asked what time we went on tonight.
What's up, Bones?
I asked what time we went on.
Seriously, I walk into the pro shop tonight to set everything up, and he's like, what time do we get on tonight? I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Well, it's because I wasn't sure what time it actually was because I was doing work.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you've been here a lot lately, okay? So
Yeah.
I don't know what time it is anymore. Like sometimes I see you at 1 o'clock, sometimes I see you at 3 o'clock, sometimes you're here at 9 o'clock at night. And the Monday you stayed all night after you got done with your fire stuff. It was only like another hour and a half, whatever, because you were talking to my dad. But I see you so much now. I just don't know what time it is anymore. Like I need a sundial in the pro shop.
Doesn't make any sense.
I do see his vehicle here quite often.
Shut up, Austin.
Kyle's been working on the game, baby. He's working on it. So how was my week? Today's Monday or Thursday. Monday, both pretty good. Tuesday, both pretty good. Last night, I think if anybody was watching, I threw an experiment ball last night. 2 1/4-inch pin double cross, which is a high flare urethane or higher flaring, I should say. It's not high flare. It's more flaring than the purple. And I was a little surprised at how it rolled. It was a little good. It was a little good. I don't even know how to. It was just a little different than what my purples do, so it was cool.
It was very early and very forward, but it still struck a lot.
It did. It got right to the spot, kind of went forward. I played it pretty good. And then when they hooked a little bit more, I could sit on it and saw on it a little bit more, and then it just still rolled forward down lane. So that was pretty cool. I don't really know.
And we bowled on 2016 team pattern for the USBC Open Championships.
Yeah, we bowled last night on that, and that was.
Do you know where that was? Did you check that?
El Paso.
El Paso. Never bowled there yet.
Was that right?
I have no idea. I'm asking you.
I'm taking a stab in the dark. Actually, I thought it was El Paso. I'll look it up as I'm sitting here, chit chatting it up. But yeah, maybe it was El Paso, maybe it wasn't. Pretty sure it was. They were pretty tough though. For everybody, the back ends, that's what we kind of experienced the first time we went out there. They've been a little soft for the past few years. The back ends don't duck hook as hard. They don't come off the spot.
Unless you're me, and then they do.
Yeah, but you definitely needed urethane wasn't as prevalent, I guess, back then. That's what one of our guys was telling us. 2016. So was that right?
Reno.
Reno.
Oh, but the older lane surface back then.
But yeah, so we threw urethane. I used urethane to calm the lane down. I threw some other stuff afterwards on a different pair where there wasn't a lefty. I'll tell you what, they were pretty sharp down lane. They were definitely sharp. I probably needed about 60 grit to get the ball to hook in the right spot if I used resin. So
you wanted to hook at the arrows as opposed to mid lane?
Well, on that for sure, man. I mean, my double cross did that last night. It rolled pretty good.
It did.
It rolled at the arrows and then just kind of right. I ended up shooting 650.
Not bad.
It's not bad. So it was a good night.
No 700 like you did in OCs, but that pattern was easy. Not for me though.
What are you talking about? Like last year's pattern?
Year, yeah.
Yeah, I mean this one was a harder ratio too.
Oh yeah, this is 1.7 or 8 or something. Right?
Yeah, it was like another whole number lower.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I could see scoring pace on that 650 is beautiful.
Yeah,
I was happy with the 650 last night. We had a few 600s. We had a 636, a 633, and then a bunch of people sat around right around 600. So it was an overall, I thought, a pretty good night for everybody. Most people. That's why I said most people, Scott, because now you're going to come in with your epiphany. Or is it not time yet?
I mean, it can be time, whatever. But, well, I mean, last night I stunk until afterward when I was practicing. And I was thinking about something your dad had said. Because, well, I'll start off by saying in practice.
Just so you know, if you don't know my father, he always says the same exact thing Kyle says. I figured it out. So here we go. Here's Kyle's figured it out moment of the week.
Right. Well, anyway, so in practice though, last night I was using the what's the green ball? Quantum Evo Solid. Thank you. And I couldn't miss. I'm like, wow, this is going to be a great night. But what's the rule?
If you're striking in practice, good luck.
So, couldn't miss in practice, and then lights turn on, and no, I threw a great shot. Ball went like 50 feet, and I left like a 210 or something. I'm like, wow, that was totally different. And so you good?
Yeah, it was
210. Yeah, light. Yeah, it went 50 feet. Yep. Okay. So anyway, so it went really far and couldn't get the ball to read anymore. So I started inching left, and then I switched balls, which was stupid because I switched to a phase 2, which was way too snappy. The lanes weren't ready for it yet. And then eventually I went back to the quantum, inch left to find more read, more friction. Which did kind of work, but I still just couldn't strike.
I just feel like getting in wasn't good on that pattern.
No, but I just needed the ball to. The problem was where the equipment that I had, because of the way we drilled that Quantum Evo Solid, it's a toe roller. Rolls really early, so it was kind of DOA down lane. I was in the pocket the whole time, but I was leaving corner pin, 7-pin, 10-pin, 7-pin, 10-pin, and then when I switched to the phase 2. It was so whippy, I could strike sometimes, but then other times I would be a split or hopefully a spare.
I did notice that a few guys tried to move a little bit left a little earlier. Austin, can you hear me? This is far away from me. Okay. I feel a little weird. But it seemed like more players were moving left, migrating a little quicker. It just didn't seem like that pattern you were going to be able to kind of do. Like, I feel like when we go to nationals, we do break them down. But I still feel like you can kind of play wherever you kind of want to in a way. They've been that kind of soft. You kind of have to be in the general vicinity. Yeah, but you can have a guy who's 10 or 12 left.
But you all have to feed it to the same spot.
Yeah, but last night I watched guys who were trying to play further left and try to feed it to a similar spot where maybe you were straighter. And it was not even. Yeah. Like, it was like, you threw that ball? Oh, is that a gutter? Oh no, you got 3.
Yeah,
kind of deal. Yeah. So I think like the transition of patterns has changed over the USBC. So when we bowled last night, you couldn't get in and swing it.
But when I was had to work. But what I mean by inch left is like I literally mean inch left. I wasn't trying to get in. I started at 7, and then I went to like 8 or 9.
I started at looking at the 3 board.
Yeah, we know. Just to have the ball hook a little more, be a little closer to the head pin, because that ball just would not get there. So anyway, all that being said, I stunk last night. Whatever. So then at the end, I was thinking about something your dad had said during the week.
Kyle's figured it out of the week. Here it is.
He was talking about his shoulders, and how, he was talking to one of his friends, Bob Caputo, and dropping his shoulder down, which is something a lot of people do, which is something I do already. And that when you get to the line, you don't want your shoulders to be square necessarily. A lot of guys, or many guys, most players, keep their right shoulder back just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
it helps you feed the ball to the correct. You
Right.
can feed the ball straight. You can feed the ball to the right.
right.
Do a little bit more when your shoulders
And
are
it keeps
square.
your arm swing free past your hip.
Right. If you're
Right.
too square, you can't feed it right.
Right.
And so, what has been your issue lately then?
Well, so my issue is, my ball is all over the map. I'm left, I'm right, I'm on target. I'm left, I'm right, I'm on
Are
target.
you up and down?
What? So then I realized, like, when he's saying this, that his shoulder needs to be back a little bit. I'm like, I used to do that. I used to always face my target at my starting point and kind of walk toward my target. I'm like, when did I stop doing that? Because I'm like dead square at the dots and just walk dead straight. And I don't know when I started doing that, but like,
Probably when we bowled nationals, you had to get a little straighter.
that could be it, but I don't have an actual memory.
A recollection.
Right.
Do you
So-
normally have a memory though?
No, never. My memory is horrible.
So my advice to you was,
I don't know. Nick Harris told me
Forget
to
it.
write it down.
what a good friend.
Yeah, Nick's a good friend.
Do you look at your shoes every time you get up to the approach?
We should.
No.
Yes, we should
Put the
tape.
stickers on the shoes.
Yeah.
I did
Smiley
that. I did that in
faces.
the past. And newsflash, doesn't do anything for me because I'm an idiot.
Kyle looks down but doesn't look at the writing. He would just look at where he's lining up. It could even say like on there.
What's that white stuff on my shoe?
Yeah. But so anyway, so I'm bowling after the sweeper last night, and I start facing my target, and even when I miss, I end up having, and then of course the lanes are broken down a little bit, but let's forget about that. I just start having way more room down lane than I have been in a long, long time.
So Kyle's tip of the week.
Feels good.
I figured it out of the week is to kind of keep your shoulder back, and that way you're not completely square at the line. Is that what you're telling us?
That's right.
So the epiphany happened. Jack Papow puts.
Papow!
He said it's because of the hardness on the ball.
That's right.
That you didn't strike.
Well, that was the other thing, is I refused to use my purple urethane.
Kyle basically called me a cheater last night.
I did not. I just said
I know
you were using the
urethane's
crutch.
gonna
You
work.
know what I mean?
It's not a crutch. It's what the lane is called for. And also, I used an experiment ball last night.
Sure. No, but I threw it in practice, and I threw it just in practice, and then I didn't throw it in the game at all. And I watched it roll, and I'm like, this thing is gonna mash them. And then I put it back in the bag because I've had enough experience with it to know that I don't need to use it anymore to prove myself that I can miss a lot with a urethane ball.
Now, are you going to drill the new purple hammer?
I don't know. I'd like to see. We'll get into that in a minute. All right.
I have to
Hey,
drill it.
before we get off the hard lane talk here, I don't know if you guys are following our buddy Carl on the Facebook.
Oh yeah, did you see
Kyle?
that pattern?
Dude,
No, what happened?
I
No, of
got it
course
for the
Kyle didn't
show.
because he's not on
I got it
face.
for the show. Look at this pattern.
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
The European.
Where did he bowl on that?
He's thinking about bowling on it. He posted it.
Oh,
Do
That's what
it.
people would do.
from
Nice.
down under? I think you should do it.
I think we should bowl on it.
heck yeah, we should.
It looks pretty easy.
Anthony's throwing urethane.
I mean, yeah, you kind of have to on this pattern. And it looks like I looked at it. It looks like I can't really tell what board it is, but about 10 to the
going on,
gutter
Michael?
has
How are
oil. So 10 of the gutter has oil. The inside doesn't. So you
This
just
is
throw
called a reverse block.
you just throw urethane, and you do okay.
Or it's long too, though, right?
It's 43, 42 feet.
43. 43, 24,
But there's no
25,
loads really in the middle.
or 29 mils.
There's really no loads to actually create any kind of sort of structure. Yeah, like you have a few
There's three passes of 2-2 that get buffed down.
Yeah, in the front.
These 3 blocks are all forward passes of 2-2.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, but I wouldn't even think about playing there.
I'm just saying that I think this is going to play a lot more like a flat pattern than you think. I think staying. I think
you got to play the outside.
Got out of trap. I don't know. I'd be curious to see because I think you're going to end up playing more middle than you think.
I'm just going to look at 3.
I'd love to try that pattern.
I think you got to stay away from 10 because there's a lot of oil out there.
I like oil.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
That looks like fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it does look like a sick pattern. We do definitely need to try it just for fun.
Yeah.
What was the ratio on that?
Like, not a lot.
Well, it's a weird ratio. It's got to be a reverse ratio, right?
I mean, it's still hard. There's a lot more oil on the inside. It's got to be like -7. No, I think it was like 2.1. Am I right? Bottom left?
Bottom left. Track zone ratio?
Yeah.
Is there like a total? Or?
Let me say it real quick.
It just says 2 point or 1 point or...
It's outside middle, 0.52. Middle, 0.65.
Yeah, so it's flat.
Very flat.
It's 1-to-1 or under.
Yeah.
It's under 1-to-1 because there's no oil really in the middle, and they put all the loads on the outside.
Middle, I think it said 1-to-1.
That's
Just
crazy.
middle.
Yeah, that's lower than 1-to-1.
All right. So that's something we didn't talk about our week.
We didn't talk about something.
We had our 3rd tournament club event on Sunday.
3rd tournament club event. I completely forgot. The left was walled.
He chose to forget.
Kyle, see, there's a difference between me and Kyle right there. Bad outing. I didn't even remember I bowled this weekend.
Exactly. I will tell you about my bad bowling.
I'll tell you about mine too, but I forgot that I even really bowled.
Yep.
I shot 130. Let's lead with that.
You still squeaked in the 200 game. I don't even think I shot a 200 game this weekend.
I shot like 225.
Zach Phillips. Thank you, Zach Phillips. He carried me all weekend for our doubles event.
Pretty sure Janbred shot 800.
She mashed him, I think.
Yeah, but she's good.
She has
magic voodoo roll.
And Janelle is my doubles partner or my partner tonight for league.
Oh, that's right. You got Janbred to bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were not good for me. They weren't good for me, and I didn't match up, and I didn't bowl very well. So it was a tale of 3 cities.
Okay. They were tough, though. And
we bowled on Scorpion, 42 feet, the new 2022 one. We have new lane surface. Whoa.
Yeah, they were definitely different. Again, not bowling good, so take me out of the equation. But there were some guys that did bowl good. Art Hoffman, our buddy Art Hoffman, ended up winning the event.
Guy's a legend.
And
Jake Shanky.
No, well, Jake Shanky came in second.
Yeah, but he
Kyle
bowled
Tebow,
good.
In the second division.
Second
won
division.
His division.
Yeah, and Jake Smith came in second. Tebow bowled good. He had to make the 3, 6,
3, 6,
9, 10. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
To win. He had to make the 3, 6, 9, 10 to win.
Which, a lot of people
Hardest
don't
spare
understand how difficult that spare is.
I would have missed it.
It's a tough spare, man.
That's my most hated spare.
Me too. Me too.
I try not to leave.
Even on a house shot.
I try
I
not
never
to
like it on a
leave.
house shot.
I don't like
Probably
it
my
ever.
most chopped spare.
Yeah.
If there was like one you had to re-rack, it'd be that.
Yeah, I'm saving it
Click.
for that.
Can you get a mulligan?
Not shooting that
Can
one.
we get a mulligan on that?
Yeah, no, we had a good turnout. We had 30 club members were there, and we had maybe like 31. We had, I believe it was right around 20 members.
19 or 20.
20
for
member
guests.
guest teams. And then what we did was we had our little singles event, and then doubles was an extra $35. Typically, I don't know how they paid for it. I looked at it as 10 for the member and 50.
It's just $35.
However you paid for it. And so we had our own doubles as well on the side. So that way, you could bring somebody in. We could kind of get some more people interested or show them what we do. And we did get a few people who were messaging us about it. I have 2 people who messaged me about
I got a
it.
couple new members that
And we picked up a
member.
member. Yeah, we picked up a member.
For anybody that's new to the podcast, the bowling alley here, we started a club last year, tournament club. We do a few tournaments.
member
and then
only.
There's only members can bowl. It's all on hard stuff this year. We chose all PBA patterns.
I think the PBA patterns are going over well because they're a little more
playable across the lane.
playable, but also research wise, you can like search how the pros played them.
That's a good point too. I didn't think
So,
about that.
You know,
That's
you
true,
can
yeah.
get out there and they're a little more
Go on YouTube and just
more-
see how the
right,
guys are playing.
a little more
yeah.
public.
Yeah.
You can see like what balls rolled good on.
Right.
too.
Yeah, like I watched the day before we bowled, and Kevin Williams won on the Scorpion, throwing a purple hammer at 15. It's the only thing I didn't try because I don't know if I could curve it like that.
Well, yeah, he's also got. Well, I mean, he's two-handed, so he's.
I give him credit, man. Winning on that was been. I
that
know
had
he's
to be a
throwing
big
purple, but
different lane
like,
surface, but
whoa! It doesn't even matter. I'm not take lane service out of the equation. 42 feet, a lot of milliliters. It might have been older pattern from last year, so maybe they're a little different. I'm sure, but they probably played similar. They were hard. That was probably the hardest and the worst I've bowled.
Well, and when they're hard and you can't match up, you only get worse and worse and worse. You just start not throwing good shots.
Well, I got
I
better.
can speak that from experience.
I got better,
I'm sure you did.
and then I
think
got
it
worse
depends
last
on
year.
your mindset.
Well, I had
Shut up.
I had hook. I had hook in the on one lane when I shot 225. Then I went to the last pair and there was no hook in the mid lane. So I don't know if I followed somebody or if that lane was just hooking more. Or probably just hooking more. And got to the next pair, and I'm pretty sure my ball went 7 feet further. I threw the first shot and I was like, "You're not gonna bowl good this game." And I literally threw striker 5. You could have probably taken bets on me, 10 or 5.
All right, folks. Striker 5.
And
Here
it
we
was
go.
guaranteed almost every time. But it was tough. It was good. We did run a little live stream, right?
We did. Yep.
So you're able to
You
go
can
back.
catch how
and check
people
that out.
bowled.
Just don't watch me.
We did. It's on our YouTube channel.
I didn't bowl that bad the first 3. I got 4 practice shots, shot 170. Next game I shot 190. Next game I shot 220. Then I shot 130. I didn't do too that bad. Pretty low game away, right?
Who was the doubles champion?
Doubles champion was Jake Smith and Ray Pont.
Nice.
Ray Ponte.
And Ray
Whatever
is
it is.
going to join the club, right?
Ray already joined. He already paid up. He's ready to
Nice.
go. So he's ready to go for the final event.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. Has a sweet mullet. His kid's got an even better
Oh
mullet.
my God,
Guy's
mullet
got a
city!
mullet.
It was sick.
This guy's got a good mullet.
Really sweet mullet.
Got a great mullet.
All right, so yeah, that was our tournament club, and
Wednesday night's been taken care of.
what do you mean? Oh, for
We
the
talked
week.
about Wednesday.
The week, yeah,
we
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about Wednesday. We talked about our tournament club.
Mm-hmm.
And what else did we talk about?
That's
Our
it.
week.
Well, we'll bring down the mood a little bit. That's all right, though. We're going to talk about a local legend here, Kenny Hall. Just passed away today, I believe it was. Maybe last night or this morning. He was 66, 65, 66. I think he was just about to turn 66.
He was right about my
Wait a
dad's
minute.
age.
I have it right here.
He was my dad's age, I'm pretty sure.
So he was a local professional here. He was on tour late 70s, early 80s, made TV on the tour, finished 4th at the Cleveland, if I have that right, Open. Of course, now nothing's going to work as I need it. Cleveland Open in 1982. And by his estimate, in this area, he drilled over 100,000 bowling balls.
That was his estimate?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And of the things that I remember about Kenny, he did the Capital Region Bowling Show. He was the color commentator.
Bowling's back.
Bowling is back. That was his tagline.
Was it his tagline or the other guy's tagline?
I think it was, I don't know. I think they both said it. Anyway, I mean, John. Anyway.
I would do that guy.
So, yeah.
Kenny.
Kenny was the color commentator for our local bowling show here. And I don't know. He just always, I cross with him sometimes during the, when the Capital Region Huck Fins, we called them, were here. Just always kind of a funny, laughing guy. You got any memories of Kenny?
Gave me a lesson once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the lesson goes, my dad's like, "Man, you stink. I'm going to get you a lesson." I was like, "All right, who are you going to get?" And he's like, "Well, you've dealt with Artie. Let's just get somebody else." And I was like, "All right." So he brings in Kenny Hall. And so I go down, so I get ready, and Kenny looks at me, and he's like, "All right, well, let's see. What's your issue?" And I was like, "I don't know. My dad called you. I mean, I don't know." So I'm pretty sure this is kind of how it went. And So whatever, we start going. I start practicing. He watches me from the side while I'm warming up, whatever. And then pretty sure like 15 minutes in, he's like, yeah, well, I see what you're going on. You got a little bit of this, I think. And he was more of an old school type player, a little more shoulder square. Your dad, Austin, is a little more today's more age, I feel like, because I've always worked with Artie and my dad. Well, I don't even want to say worked with, but been close
around
enough to where like they're like, they'll tell me what the heck's going on. Like, your dad will be like, dude, you're just throwing like dog crap when I was, and I'll be like, all right. And then we would bowl and we'd fix it up. Kenny comes in, he's like, well, you gotta be a little more square. Here's your, he always liked to have his arm anchored. So we talked about that a little bit, and he's talking about my shoulders. We get like 15 minutes into the lesson, and he's like, all right, you don't need me anymore. And I was like, what? And he's like, you're good. You don't need me. And I was like, what is that supposed to mean? He goes, you got enough body control. Every time I tell you to do something, you do it. So you should just keep bowling, and you're gonna be all right. Just keep playing. Nice. I was like, okay. So I was like, so I keep practicing a little bit. He just watched me. He's like, you're fine. Just bowl. You're an athlete. You'll figure it out as you go. And I was like, okay. And that was kind of it. Then he went and talked to my dad a little bit. My dad's like, Kenny, don't tell my kid that. He already can't walk into the building. And then Kenny's like, what, Jay?
That is true. He still can't walk into the building.
So, well, I'm in here. So, after that, I always saw him. I saw him a few, I feel like a month and a half ago, he walked in here, and he wanted to bowl. Yeah, I was asking for my dad, and my dad was like, yeah, we'll get you a ball and stuff. He wanted to go down to like a 12-pound ball. He was just looking for something to do. And then I hadn't seen him since. So, but yeah, he was always a good guy. Always made jokes at me.
Yeah.
I never bowled with him though, but some of the guys I drill for now, bowled with him for years. So, they always said, yeah, wherever Kenny went, we went. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, Kenny just told us we're going to a tournament, and that's what we did. We went to a tournament. So he had he had a good following too. A lot of people liked him.
Oh, he had one of his teams. His team finished first at the national tournament. ABC,
it would be the Open Championships.
The Open Championships, yeah.
But it was called something
the
different.
Team Championships back then.
Did you find out where it was from? Where was it?
What city it was in?
I'm pretty sure, because I've heard stories, because I'm pretty sure it was Maryland. Or Baltimore. It was in that. Oh wait, Maryland is a state.
Maryland is a state. Baltimore's in a city. In Maryland.
I don't remember who it was, but I remember we also had another kind of living legend would be Skip Vigers used to come in, and he would talk to me, and I'm pretty sure he was not on the team, but he went with that group of guys, and he was like, man, dude, one of these times, these guys went out and they lit it up, and it was blah 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 blah. And the only name I really recognized was Kenny Hall. So that is really cool. Yeah, they said it, and they were Brugger's Bagels or something.
Brugger's
like that.
Bagels, 1993 Team Championships.
Yeah. Brugger's Bagels team. Can you believe that crap? Has that been broken? It's been broken, right?
You're gonna ask me all these questions now. I don't remember. I think it has been.
I'm pretty sure it has been too. They shot like 36 or 3,700 or something like that.
I'll get it in a second.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible at my job.
Yeah, you're asking all these questions, and you could have just
researched it.
I'm also trying to research.
I know. I'm pulling up all of the information now.
Yeah, he was. My dad won the Ken Hall Tournament of Champions, because the Tournament of Champions in our local little scratch tournaments that Kyle was talking about was named after him. And then my father won that one. It is actually, the plaque is hanging outside right at the front desk.
They got 35-37 back in 1993. Let's see here. And the records.
Gosh darn it, Kyle. Shouldn't you have these already?
Yeah. If
I did my homework?
Yeah.
Well,
You asked me to. Anyway, continue with your story.
About what story?
No, the regular team was broken in 2014, 37-20.
Wow, so it did stand for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Before that, yes, 1993.
And that's when they didn't have the super reactive resin balls that they had in 2014. So think about that.
No, they were coming around, but not as big as 2014. Of course,
that's what I'm saying. Like, they were
probably.
I
bet you they had a mix of.
I wonder if they had wood back then.
Urethane and no, they were definitely on synthetic.
In 1993.
Yeah, it was. Let's see,
cool.
Tulsa, Oklahoma, in 1993.
Oh, I was way off. Phil, I did not comb my hair. This is just natural good looks and genetics.
Thanks for
the question, though.
Rest peacefully, Kenny Hall. Thank you for your smile, and thank you, I guess, Anthony, for a non-lesson.
Well, he
for
gave me a
vote
lesson.
of confidence.
He gave me a mini lesson. It was like, dude, you're fine. Your dad's overthinking it, basically. You know, you're a good athlete. Just go play and figure it out as you go. That's kind of what he was. So he didn't like try to overdo anything. He just said, hey, listen, just figure it out as you go, man. Use your athletic talent, and you know, you'll find your way.
Yeah.
You know.
All
Like
right,
Michael
guys.
Scott said.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel, and check out the Etsy shop for shirts and hats and all that good stuff.
Socks on there yet?
Socks are not on there yet. I told you I have to sweatshop my son to start drawing more stuff.
I have a
well,
good.
they
We have a
they
good.
don't
We have a
wait.
good idea for one, right?
Oh, what's that?
We talked about it last night.
Kyle has a bad memory.
Yeah, I did.
No. Well, you said something like, "Dude, that should be a shirt," and you're like, "Yeah, it should." All right, I'll text it to you so we don't give away to our viewers.
All right, yeah, forget it. All right,
Let's not forget
so
it.
let's talk about this this little bit of news story about the Hardness, shall we?
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think it's important to let our people
Yeah, well, let's
know what's going on, 'cause I
let's
don't-
let them know how it's going to affect them.
now. You know what I'm talking about, Kyle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mike
Yeah.
Polkey. Yes, I can't wait for you to go on Saturday. Hopefully, they have the new good stuff, the knockout bruiser, and maybe try out a brutal collision because that ball is awesome. If
Oh,
you're
he
looking
loves
for a
that
ton of
puke
hook,
ball.
puke ball man rules good, and then make sure you try to a knockout bruiser. That one's pretty good, and then actually try anything with HK22 because I think that a lot of their stuff right now is really good.
If you
Bigfoot
like
hybrid.
snappy.
If
snap,
you like
snapping,
something cleaner,
snap,
stuff that responds to friction.
snappity, snap.
Yeah. 3D offset's not my favorite, but that's only because I'm left-handed, and the righties I think need it for when the lanes break down a little bit more. So
Jeff Riggles from 11th Frame put this on his website that that Hammer had announced that the purple hammer, the urethane,
purple pearl urethane
had been
instated.
reapproved for the 73D hardness. I'm playing too much with my microphone here. Sorry. So what that means exactly is if we go all the way back to 2020, basically the hardness scale had been, or hardness rule, I should say, had been changed from 72 to 73. Doesn't sound like much.
2020.
I believe that's when it was.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was 2020. And then they were given until 2021 originally to comply with the 73. Then with all of the stuff that happened in the world, they extended it until July 31st, 2022. With all that said, all the manufacturers of bowling balls that have been complying to the 72 hardness were given that extra time to change their manufacturing process, get everything approved, etc., etc. So for whatever reason, though, Hammer made this announcement, maybe only to their dealer network, because it didn't go out publicly. It went to kind of like the dealers, and then for just specifically the purple hammer, and they're not just keeping it the same; they're changing the pin color from green to purple,
Which is awesome, by the way. That is the best move they've done because I'm a big purple guy. They know.
If it's purple, Anthony's drilling it.
Gosh, turn right, I am.
So basically what that means is every manufacturer, it's not just Hammer, all right? Every manufacturer has to comply to the 73D hardness. And from what I can gather, every bowling ball has to go through the reapproval process or has to be approved for the 73D hardness. What does that mean? I think we got 300, folks.
Oh, we did. Jake Morseman. Congratulations,
Nice.
Jake
300 at
Morseman.
Town and Country. That was a big, loud one.
Yeah, that's his first 300. Let's see what ball he was throwing.
Round one.
It looks like a Black Widow 2.0.
Whoa.
Because I drill for him, so I know what his bowling balls are.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Jake.
Jake, yeah, good for him.
Wow,
Wonder if he crossed over.
that's not nice.
I'm just wondering. I mean, when I shot my 300, I crossed over. I was just wondering, when you're shaking in your boots, you're shaking in your boots.
Yeah.
First 300 I crossed in
Nice.
Kyle,
What?
you flushed yours because you're
Sorry,
so
we didn't
perfect.
flush 12 in a
I'm
row.
sorry.
Sorry,
I honestly
Kyle.
just don't know. I don't remember. I just remember where I was.
Where were you?
Dell Lanes.
Ew, it wasn't here.
Sorry.
Wow.
All right. It was a high school match. Why would I be here? Or I may have been here. Or I could have been here, but I was at Dell Lanes that day. Sorry. Anyway, so what does that mean for all the bowlers out there that have
72D bowling balls.
old bowling balls?
You're all gonna have to get
Answer.
rid of them and drill new ones.
They are still approved
You're
indefinitely.
still allowed to use them. Yeah, they're grandfathered in. It seems
Right.
like it'd be a pretty bad move to make everybody get new stuff. So everybody's going to be grandfathered in. The new purple hammers will be purple pin. The old ones will be green pin. They're still going to be good. It just so happened I think this was a big deal because it's a purple hammer.
Right.
So I feel like people were trying to grab some straws here and make it look like the purples weren't legal, or maybe they could have had a little bit of a little story here and said, oh, they weren't legal. So it's not true. They were always legal. They just got reapproved. And I'm pretty sure in the article that Storm did send in some of their equipment.
Yep.
Brunswick decided to ditch everything. And Storm is going to probably send an IQ Tour, High Road Pearl. Phase 2, they'll all be approved, I'm sure.
When Brunswick came out with their discontinued list, I was like, not heartbroken, but with I was excited about the 3D offset because I grabbed one, but kind of. But you got another one I just noticed.
I ordered 2 just for you because I knew that you were in a bad mood the past week. So I was like, you know what? Kyle's like, I don't need any more bowling balls, but he really liked it. So I said, you know what? They're still in stock. I'll grab 2. I sold one to your aunt. And then I was like, I still have one for Kyle because I know that he'll come around.
Yeah.
He'll come around.
But yeah, so they dumped all their stuff that was old, and I thought maybe it was because of HK22. They wanted to switch to all that, but maybe it's all because of the 72 hardness
to 73.
Yeah.
Um,
What's really interesting, and I can't remember. I think Jeff Riggles might have brought this up in his article, or I saw it on Twitter. I can't remember. What is really going to be interesting is the difference between the green pins and the purple pin hammers.
I can't wait to drill one. I'm waiting for them to become back in stock so I can order one.
But here's the thing. There's no way that
they manufacture it if it's not as good.
Well, I think they're going to have to continue to make them, right? Like, no, even if it's a little bit worse or a little bit not as good, there's no way that they don't continue to make
my
them.
question to you is, how could it not be as good?
Where I was going with that is there is absolutely no chance. I'm not a scientist. We probably need to get
Ron Hicklin
on here. But I don't believe that there's any way that the new purple hammer is as good as the old one. Because
like the old hammer one, or
not the 16-17.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about no. I'm just talking about even the current one. Even
you
the
think
green
that
pins.
the new ones aren't going to be as good as
Right.
the purple pins?
Even though we're talking about 1 point of hardness, like Ron was saying, no one wants to toe that line.
Yeah.
Right. So
especially with the purple hammer.
Right. So, and again, we don't have any inside information here, but do they want to bring a purple hammer to USBC and have that tested and have it be right at 73 for approval, or are they going to be at 74-ish?
May I throw?
They're going to be in 73 somewhere still.
May I throw factual information out?
Give it.
The double cross is the purple hammer cover stock at 73D.
Approved 73?
Yes. The double cross was the first urethane approved at 73D to match the new
That's
rule.
right. That was a year or two
And it
ago,
is
yeah.
a very, they say it's very similar to the purple. It might be the purple's cover, just a different
But it's just
color.
also sanded way different, and it's also got the
It's got a
what's the
higher
block inside of it?
it's got a higher differential core.
Yeah.
That's like the purple hammer of 16 pounds. So I don't know. It seems like maybe Radical's ball, now looking at it, was kind of a test piece
Maybe.
to see if they have to change the formulation or to just see if they could make that ball do something good at 73D. So I would assume that they kind of had an idea what they were doing, which is why that ball came out. It
Interesting.
ended up being pretty good. because these guys are usually a year ahead, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
they're a year ahead. So
Well, we know a guy.
couple years ahead.
We know a guy in a completely different business that manufactures sporting goods. And I know for a fact that he's designing
2025
Yeah.
right now. Yeah. I mean, so if we think about it, that double cross which was released, it had to be right around the time of this year, last year, because I bowled the New Year's Day tournament with it and used it, and I used it like a few weeks later at a different tournament. It had to be because that rule came out 2020, and that ball was released in 2022 or 20. I got it in 2021, so it seems like it was kind of in that timeline to where let's see what we can do with this ball and see if we have to change the formulation. Ended up being pretty good. They threw a different core in it maybe and said, let's throw this out there to the market because it is a pretty good ball. It's a little bit of a different urethane look, and then they worked off it from there.
Now, do you think that getting that ball down from 03 whatever to 01 whatever
Makes
the
it
differential will get that ball to get back to where the purple is supposed to react?
Well, I don't.
That thing is a world of difference.
Yeah, of course it is.
From the double cross to the purple.
Yeah, in my opinion, and from throwing the attitude control as well, which I'm assuming is a very similar purple hammer cover, because once you get it, you don't not put that on a urethane ball.
I was watching. So another person that bowls here last night, he was using that. That thing doesn't. Two different players.
You also have to remember, I drill my urethane very, very, very strong.
Yeah, you drill yours toe roller, but his was definitely
smooth.
Much more purple reactive.
Yep.
Purple
resin.
Purple
purple urethane.
Purple looking. Let's put it that way. Then the attitude control was much more purple looking than your double cross.
I'm sure if I drilled, because I debated the double cross because that was the experiment ball. I was debating going a 2 1/4 inch pin or like 5.5, 5 3/4, because that's going to give similar amount of flare size. The longer pin will give me more length, but I wanted to see if I could get a ball that had a really early or really short pin to kind of keep continuing through the pins, which I thought I did a decent job of last night. It did roll forward down lane, but when I moved in and the lanes were broken down, I could actually circle a little bit, and that was out of box. I didn't have 800 on it. I didn't have 500 on it. Might not roll good with that. My goal was to actually use a little less surface with it, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sure if I drill them weaker, the balls would be a little bit different, because I do want to try a weaker pinned urethane like the double cross, plug it up and redo it, see how it rolls. I don't know if I would really do that, but that's something that I think you'd have to take into account. Mark, who's talking about is Mark, and Mark used a little bit of a weaker pin position on it. But that attitude control also for me is pretty strong, but I went pin down with it too because the differential is so much higher. I wanted to originally. Hello, we have a phone in here today. I originally wanted to drill my double cross. The plan was to drill like my attitude control, pin down to kind of get it to retain more energy, because I have 2 urethanes drilled like that. Because they do flare early, but they kind of roll a little smoother down lane, so they don't use their energy quick. But I'm assuming Brunswick's had plenty of opportunities to test this ball. They had that ball come out at 73D with a stronger core. I think the core is going to make a difference because the core is way stronger than the purple hammer core, unless it's at 16 pounds. So, I think going forward, I think you're going to see similar motion. In my opinion, what we would see is probably a little more down lane if there is any change, because 72 is a little softer than 73. 73 can't create as big as a footprint, so I would assume that it would kind of be a little bit more down laney than a normal purple urethane.
So what I'm curious about, because the PBA's got the 2-year rule on the urethane, if anybody's not aware.
National tour only, though.
Yes, national tour only for PBA. 2-year-old urethanes are not allowed from manufacture date.
Think they change it?
I'm curious if they'll just take out the green pins altogether.
Well, maybe that's a stipulation. Maybe I'm sure that Brunswick and PBA had to be in cahoots, as well as the USBC, and say, listen,
talks.
Yeah,
talks.
Is cahoots like
cahoots is like
negative.
Yeah,
you're planning to inspire.
Yeah.
We are not.
They were in discussion.
They were in discussion about how do we keep them separate.
Maybe.
So, well, I think that because let's be honest, the PBA and USBC were pretty lenient between everyone that kind of jumped that buffer zone of hardness. This might have been a like, hey, we'll keep these till you guys produce one that's like quote unquote 100% legal. Not saying that their other purples aren't necessarily legal or illegal, but
Well, I mean, technically they're illegal now, but they're still grandfathered in until they're 2 years old on the PBA National Tour.
Good. I can keep using my super soft one at nationals.
That's the thing is like,
why would I ever
why would
bring
you
a
get
purple
rid of-
one out
Right. Why would you get rid of the green one
if I don't have to?
unless the National Tour is going to get rid of it? But if they're making the stipulation that
I'm not on the national tour though.
no, that's not what I meant to say.
Yeah,
I meant to
regional
say OCs.
Yeah.
National tournaments.
But then I feel like if
USBC
they
national
do that, they
tournaments.
got to get rid of every ball at 72D. Then you lose your field. You're done.
Right.
Maybe give it 5 years.
they
Right.
might need to give it longer than that. I mean, some people do keep equipment for 5 to 10 years before they get
Yeah,
it
but if
going.
you're going to the OCs, I feel like even if you're on
probably
the
have more
lower
equipment
tier,
than
you
that,
you
yeah.
probably still have a newer ball. Like you
Yeah.
like bowling that much, you probably don't have
If
a
you're
ball
flying
from-
out to somewhere to go bowl, even if you're
even if you're
in
losing money
classified
or
or whatever,
yeah, you
yeah.
definitely just
you
love the
still
sport.
are getting some new equipment.
Yeah, you
every
definitely
year.
if you're getting a new tropical surge or you're just gonna be having something. I feel like
right.
I mean
Maybe
I
we're
think
wrong.
yeah, I mean maybe we are, but I feel like if you're doing that, I mean you're definitely gonna be spending some time in the center,
Yeah.
regardless
It's all
of scores and
stipulation.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? But so we'll see. I think it's gonna be just as good. If not, we'll see a little bit more down lane motion, which means
Put some sandpaper on it.
charcoal it up a little bit more, baby, huh?
So,
Which
yeah,
is good for me.
Along your actual hardness reading thing, I think they're not going to be afraid to have it around 73.4 or 73.5. I mean, some of them will probably even reach for that 73.3.
I think the PBA should raise their hardness to 75. Then nobody will ever toe the line at USBC again,
Well, true.
which means that there's no more issues.
And that's how it used to be.
Vice
The
versa.
Which it
PBA,
should
the
be. You can do
PBA
either way.
always used to be 2 points higher
right.
than the USBC.
Right. My new question is, I mean, sorry to butt. Austin, what was your question? You finish up.
I was done.
Way to read the room. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to make sure he gets his question in because he's also in the conversation. My new question is, at 72 to 73D, does that change the oil absorption rate?
That's a good question. I don't think we've ever
Because if you
No
think
idea.
about
that
it,
conversation.
if you think about it,
And obviously, we're not
if
talking
it's
urethane because
softer, it
urethane's
could
not in.
right now we're talking resin.
Right.
If that's the case, if it is gonna lead to less oil absorption, because if it's not as soft, there's not as many pores to pour the oil into the ball. So I would assume
Well,
if that's how that
softer-
works,
Softer would mean more pores.
right?
Yeah. So if it's
Um,
harder now,
But the question is the softness of the ball the fact of what's picking the oil up, or is that what's moving the oil?
I don't know. You guys are talking way over my head.
Listen,
No, I'm
but-
not
no,
talking
but-
over your head. I'm
no,
just
but
trying to
what-
think:
you
is it going to
make a
keep
good point.
Is it going to keep the integrity of the pattern there
Right?
longer?
Is the pattern going to hold up better
right?
over time
because there's
because
less
the bowling
pores.
balls are slightly harder?
Right,
Harder,
and they're
so
not-
I'd have to say yeah.
What's your
Yeah.
absorption rate? Is the absorption rate like, when it's 73, our absorption rate is 1.5 milliliters a second? Now that is not a real
All right,
testament.
That sounds like a lot
gotta
of
get
oil.
Ron,
But,
we got to get Ron
Right.
back on.
I know.
this, see if
Right.
he knows
I'm
anything
just
about
throwing
this.
that out there, like just to make a stand. Like if it's 1 milliliter per second, let's just say, on a 72D ball, and then it's like 0.5 on a 73, like obviously that's going to make a difference. So the lanes
Yeah.
would hold up better. That
Right.
would just be. I knew that nobody had the answer here, but I was bringing it up as like a, hey, what do you guys think about that?
Right.
You know what
No,
I mean?
that makes a great point.
Ron, if you're watching, don't answer in
Yeah, he's
chat,
not busy.
Just message us.
No, he's not designing anything right now. He's not using his brain.
Right.
But yeah, I would be curious to see what would happen here. And what balls are 73D right now? Balls that just didn't get discontinued, I'm assuming. Honestly, what of these are 72D in front of us?
I have to
We can test
assume
them.
that not all, but many of the ones that didn't have to get quote unquote reapproved, all released in the last year, are within the 73D.
I would have to say
range
that
right
I
now, right?
would guess that it's not. Because like, why are you gonna make, like, let's be honest, if your shelf life on a ball is a year, most balls is a year.
Mhm.
Like, let's say these balls right here in front of us, Defenders, Obsession Tours, the ones, whatever, they're gonna be 72, or they're made at 72D. if you know you've got stuff coming out and you know that it changes July 31st, because it's going to be a new year, you're going to bump these balls out in July. Why make them 73? Why not make them 73 or why not keep them 72 until you have to change it?
What when was the one?
Because are
released?
they testing 73D right now?
Yes.
Okay, so
July 31st was the cutoff date.
this year.
Yes.
So like after July 31st, the new balls had to be 73.
That was for manufacturer. So
That's what I'm
Hold
trying.
on. Are
Yes.
we talking 2022 or 2023?
2022.
Okay.
So they're already 73D then.
Yes.
All these balls here, besides the Obsessions, are 73D.
Yeah, and so that was why you couldn't get any purple hammers after July 31st.
Oh, I know.
Because they could not be manufactured
Until they
at
reapprove.
72D hardness.
That's funny because I've been trying to buy like 7 or 8, and I just
on back order.
Just kidding. No, I saw they were out of stock actually.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's weird because this ball is always in demand. There's no way that this ball should be.
Why did they stop making them?
Yeah, there was no not even
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that I'm an exception, but usually they have like a little staff newsletter. Sometimes I don't read the whole thing. I read most of it, but usually they put on Facebook groups or something like that. That hey, guys, just so you know, the hammers are gonna be out. Maybe I missed it, but we're not making these until whenever. But maybe they thought they made enough and they didn't make enough. So, because then I was like, what the heck? Why the heck would they not have those in stock? They sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised.
I'm just very interested to see how the ball will be different, or maybe not at all different. Maybe
Well,
no one will notice a difference.
Well, I mean, everything, the Defender's 73D, the 1 is 73D, your GB2, your CUDA, and your that's it on this wall. That is it right now. That is 73D.
So you're saying all the Defenders were 73D also?
The originals? Like the OG solids?
Yeah.
No, because they were done before July. They were
Right.
out
That's
before
what.
July.
Yeah, you just said those were all 73.
That's a 73 because that hybrid
The
just came
hybrid.
out. The
Okay.
Defender hybrid, if it was manufactured after July 31st, right, it has
Yeah.
to be 73.
Correct.
That ball's 73, which means that the HK22 stuff is 73D.
Right.
But
Which is interesting.
That's assuming that everyone pushed it to the deadline on all the equipment. Like some of them could have been changed beforehand.
Just in
I'm assuming if they're trying to discontinue this right around this time, it's probably 73D because this is kind of the time where things kind of start to slow down a little bit till you ramp up the tournament time. Unfortunately, or fortunately, that's not the case here because I ordered like 20 balls in the past 2 days or day, so I'm still on the high end, but
Drill press is hot, huh?
the drill press is very hot still. The bits might be smoking still.
yeah.
Because that's why we're late today. I had to do a few extra balls. So, I'm just wondering to see. I'd like to know which ones are 73 now. If it had to be after July 31st, I wonder. Because I have seen a
Yes.
difference with the GB2 versus a knockout. The GB2 is way smoother and just a little bit more blah,
We should send an email.
which is good. I wanted it to be that way. My knockouts come offline quick. The CUDAs, I didn't like the CUDA.
Anthony,
So I'm
you have
wondering.
homework.
Again?
You got to email Dave.
I'll email Dave. I emailed him yesterday. He's a good guy. He'll tell him. Well, maybe he'll give me information. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Or
Maybe
see
it's a
if he wants to
secret.
Come talk on Thursday.
Ooh, we could have
Ooh.
Dave on.
I'll see if I can
We could
get
have
him on.
Dave and Ron on.
So does that mean I can sit here and eat my Hershey's bar and not have to talk?
Yeah, I'll mute your mic for you.
We'll all just not talk and let those guys do all the talking.
I mean, it's two brains going at it. We really wouldn't. We would just have to narrate. You know, like
Yeah.
the people,
Could you
on,
imagine
like the
conversation?
presidential, like when they're talking. There's
The
like the
debate
person in the
moderator.
middle- Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
would-
no, you can't say that. Yeah, he's not done yet. You know,
I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine trying to type that all out to transcribe it.
Ooh.
do they have to do that?
All right.
Or would we have to do
Moving on. All right. Well, we're excited to find out what the difference is going to be between the green pin and the purple hammers.
And we keep
Um,
saying we're gonna do reviews, Kyle. And you know what? I need to make time for that
Hey, we
You
got
do.
the device
because I got some of the new stuff in.
Yes,
have to
you do.
include me now.
Yeah.
Austin?
Come on down.
Come
all
on
right.
and do that.
So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to get alerts from the channel. It is time for us
I got another great shirt
to
idea.
go bowling.
Do I have to drill any balls
What
tonight?
is it?
I don't know. So if you can't if you can't watch a show on YouTube, you can always download and listen on your favorite podcast outlet. And while you're doing that, please give us a 5-star review. please check out our Etsy shop. You can get some sweatshirts, t-shirts, hats, all that good
Look
stuff.
out for a new shirt. Do I have to
Anthony,
draw it?
You have to draw it. You have to make it. You have to print it and sell it.
Wait, seriously? Do you have to do all that? I thought you gotta show me how to do that then. Because I'd love to make a few shirts. I think that'd be sick. Nobody would wear them but me. But
Thanks, Michael. You have a great night
the
too.
extreme.
No, you do have to create the design though.
I have to draw it, right?
It's all on the
You
computer.
got a tracer?
I don't know what that means. If you'd like to email us, you can email us at downlanepod@gmail.com. Thank you, Austin, the producer, for another great show tonight. Thank you to Jack Scaccia, proprietor of Town and Country Lanes. Thank you to my family.
Your fatly?
Blah, 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 blah. Stephanie, Zach, and Ethan,
And jam bread.
my partner for tonight.
Wait, before we go off. Are we going to do it? Wow, that was quick, right?
Whoa.
Are we going to do like a, hey, who
Who?
wins? Jan or Kyle? Should we do like a...
Oh, she's going to beat me for sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
never mind.
taking
Then.
I'll take that bet all
She
day.
is a
I'm
buzzsaw.
taking Janelle.
She beat us 4-1
Yeah.
when I had to bowl her. She freaking sandbagged. She gets
Yeah.
so much handicap in the scratch league. I don't get it.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. This is Down Lane Podcast.